Good evening. This is Susan Hintz-Epstein, aka Susan of the North, with the runes for the week of July 21st through 27th. The first one I've drawn today is Kenaj. Kenaj is the rune of knowledge, craft, and technology. Perhaps you found yourself today working on something creative or studying something new. It's also a rune of education, learning, and the higher arts. That is Kenaj. For Monday, July 22nd, we have the rune Nauthiz. Nauthiz is a rune of limitation and constraint, but on its other end, it's the rune of liberation. So when we find ourselves in times of constraint or limited by things that we don't like, what is it in us that is attaching to what is going on? Because only by getting behind that and becoming detached from it do we gain the ultimate liberation of becoming enlightened. This is now Thij for July 22nd. For July 23rd, the rune becomes Ansuj. Ansuj is the God rune. It is the rune of higher self, higher power, conscience, reasoning, higher emotion. I would attach to this a little bit because all of that are parts of the higher self. Um, the capacity to love more unconditionally is related to conscience, and that is related to, imagination, creativity. All of these things are under the purview of this rune. It's not the creative art of making something, it is the creative art of thinking about what you want to make and putting it together. It is the creative art of reaching for what you want to manifest in life, in your thought process, and how would it feel to have that. Um, I might be stretching a little bit on how I have normally interpreted this rune, but being the God rune and God being omnipotent and omnipresent and all of that goes along with the higher powers of um, attention, intention, reasoning, imagination, a positive imagination. Let me be clear about that. And discerning what it is you need for your life purpose. What makes you feel good in doing it? This is on Suj, the rune for Tuesday, the 23rd of July. The rune I'm drawing for Wednesday, the 24th, Odin's Day, is Yara. Everything flows in cycles. This is the rune of the year. But notice how the two little symbols look a little bit like Kenaj and the things that we do in life, the cycles of learning, the cycles of meeting the needs of life. Everything in life is interwoven. It flows together. None of us is isolated in our endeavors. The myth of separation is just that. We can't live without depending on someone else. For example, I'll take myself. I live by myself. I like it that way, but I'm dependent upon the people who pay me when I go to my support job. I'm dependent upon people getting supplies to the grocery store where I can trade my support income for what I need for my life. All of that flows hand in hand, doesn't it? And when I'm working on the land, the land reciprocates by giving me food from the garden, but in return, I have nurtured the garden. I have nurtured the plants around the garden. And it's not just food plants for me, but I keep a butterfly garden. I keep a bee garden, or I try to. It's been dearth of insects this year, which I'm really sad to see. But anyway, the cycle is inclusive, it's incorporated. Every activity has its season, and that, in my opinion, is a very good thing. Yara, friends, for Wednesday, July 24th. For the 25th, Thursday, dégage. This is the rune of the day. You see how it's like two triangles meeting in the middle. We have night and day, and we have the liminal points in between, the twilight points that are wonderful for meditation. They're wonderful for going out on the land and communicating with the energies, because the energies are transitioning at that point. So it's a good time to get in your own mind and get away from the intellectual capacities of the daytime hours and into some more of the intuitive feeling aspects of the other side of the brain. It's really amazing how much capacity we have for intuition and creativity when we can just stop the driven, the slave driving aspect of the daily mind and get into those liminal periods of the twilights. It's really a nice thing. This is also a rune of breakthrough. Something has been understood that wasn't formerly understood, and understanding is a really good gift to receive. Dayage for the 25th of July. For the 26th of July, we have the rune Iwaj. Iwaj is the rising and falling of life forces in the we relate the runes to the tree of life, the rising and falling of water in the capillaries of the tree, the energy that goes between crown and root. Consciousness in human beings is very similar to that. Our consciousness rises and falls. Sometimes we're really in a good state, and other times we might be depressed and unhappy or grieving. But it's a reminder, like Yara was a reminder on Wednesday, that cycles occur. This is the written version of the rune, but it's a spinning rune. It sort of does its, spin thing. It's like rising and falling. Okay, that's Iwaj for for Friday, the 26th. And the final rune of the week on the 27th, I am drawing Tiwaj or Tyr. This is the warrior rune. I love receiving this rune. It lets me know I'm on track. Tiwaj is the earliest of the gods. He became secondary to Odin, um, probably when he lost his hand to the wolf, because people liked wholeness in their leaders at that point in human history. But it could be also that Odin just became more conscious, and being more conscious, he became the head guy. And Odin is a god of learning, and he will do whatever it takes to accomplish his goals. But this rune is Tiwaj. It's about having honor and integrity and principles and standing by them, which is a good rune, in my opinion, to close the week on the 27th. So just to recap, the rune for today, Sunday the 21st, is Kenaj, the rune of knowledge and learning and craft. On the rune for Monday, the 22nd, is Nauthiz, the rune of limitation and constraint. You need to discern what is holding you back and what to do about it. For Tuesday, the God rune, this is a rune of coming to answers, reasoning things through, positive imagination, all of the things that go hand in hand with that. For Wednesday, Yara, the cycle of the year, things in their own time, harvest time. Things take time. You plant the seed, it takes time to grow, it takes time to nurture, it takes time to harvest. On Thursday, Dayaj, the rune of the day. Take time for this particular day to find the liminal times of the day, to understand your own mind, your own being, your own heart. For Friday, Iwaj, the rune of the rising and falling. It could be the rising and falling of emotional states, the rising and falling of conscious states. What state are you in? And for Saturday, we conclude the week with Tiwaj, the warrior, standing strong in your own principles. This is Susan of the North with the runes of the week for July 21st through the 27th, and I will wish you a blessed rune week.